doing the small, but
Here's the
mentally
thing. People aren't
road
hard enough
blocking.
on them. They say they're hard on themselves sometimes, but they're not when it comes to like the important shit.
Yeah, I feel like people are
more of
hard
the
on
regret.
themselves mentally. Yeah, after the fact, more
Dumb
than
shit.
holding themselves
The shit that doesn't
accountable. And
matter.
I'm saying this as much to myself as I am to anybody else.
Stuff that doesn't matter that you hold on to
Yeah.
and you're like you're beating yourself up over.
Right. And then, but when things are really, you're like, oh, and
Yeah.
you make it, you're right. You either make excuses or you make it happen.
It's just like the content game. Like so like all right, so like I had a band member in the past where like he really wasn't an online person. Like he didn't like content, he didn't like it was just really he just said, well, like if we make cool music, like people will check it out and listen to it. I'm like
That's a
but
idea.
But I was that's the basis of doing content. Like that's the start. That's
Hoping
just
you're gonna have good music and that people. That's like the music industry's biggest.
That'd be like what if Nirvana was just playing in a
thing
garage
right now.
for 5 years until Kurt died. Like, yeah, they made great music, but nobody heard it. Like, so it's you got to figure out.
Yeah.
Like, yes, making great content and figuring out that vibe and your niche. That's all. That is the ground zero. But the thing that got us caught up was, well, maybe this isn't the best piece of content. Maybe it could be better.
Mm-hmm.
You could spend. You can talk to the Aidens about this. You could spend years, like just thinking about what content to do and never doing anything. Like action. That's where you learn. It's just the nose of the grindstone.
Thanks to the Aidens that we're here today.
Yeah. Thank you to the Aidens. But just doing, honestly, and that's what I want to encourage bands is like don't worry about whether people are gonna hate. I mean, if you're still working on your stuff,
But also do the work. Do the work
yeah.
when no one's watching. Do the work when you don't want to. Do the work when you could put it off for later. Because later you is going to kick you for not doing the work.
yeah. And if you
It's
put
still
out
not
content
done.
and you're still like, I'm not 100% happy with it. Like, guess
At
what?
least you did
The whole
it.
world didn't see it.
At least you did it.
That's another thing is people are always just like, well, we already put it out.
You can
People are gonna
archive
think
everything.
This. And I often will say, unfortunately,
Always archive. Don't delete. though.
nobody gives a fuck and nobody's paying attention.
Delete is bad for your algorithm.
So
Always
just
archive.
Keep putting music. Just keep putting. You can say you can re-record that same piece of content.
Reuse
you could
content.
re-chop it. You can. This is the one thing that people they get so caught up on how it wasn't exactly what they wanted or wasn't the best thing. But
Needs to be
they
perfect.
forget that like
Perfect doesn't exist.
it is unfortunately, if you want to say it's unfortunate, the record labels have no say nowadays if you're doing the game, but it's a content game. It's putting things out. It's building your tribe. It's building your following, building communicating with the people that do come out.
But
Thanking
then
them for
also,
being there.
when you're ready for it and you've been doing content for a while, invest in your marketing.
Yeah.
Put money into yourself. Once you need to be consistent before you do that. People invest into marketing and then they're not consistent and they wonder why their marketing isn't working. It's because they're not being consistent.
Yeah.
Once you're consistent though, and you're already getting a baseline of traction, that's your time to really like double down and invest in your page and invest in your brand. And having your brand identity is actually the most important part because it's who you are.
Yeah.
And so once you have consistent, and I'm not consistent anymore, so I can't even, you know, not speaking for myself on this one, but what I wish I was more consistent because then it would make sense for me to invest into marketing. And like, for example, when I do finally release music again, there is a whole plan that goes into that before that ever happens.
Yeah. Every time I make a good content piece, like the video I just did with Joe Kenny, we took one of my songs and did a piano version, a sadder piano version of already
It's gonna be
slow,
beautiful.
sad song.
That's gonna be beautiful.
And like I took money and threw some ads behind the video on Facebook.
Just get it out there.
30,000 views. Like it doesn't take a lot. That was like, I don't know, $20, $30 in ads.
But you made the content and you did it.
If you have the content, like,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's that game of just figuring out how it works. And like, maybe you're not happy with the last one. We'll do another one.
But don't go down the rabbit hole trying to figure out too much how it works. You don't need it to be the highest quality for it to hit. You've seen I'm not even going to say it, but you've seen some of the viral videos that go viral. They're not
They're honest. They're really.
It's not necessarily high quality. It's what sticks with people, and whatever sticks with you will probably stick with somebody else.
Yeah.